best in the business, as well as being a great friend of mine. Mitch Jackson is a 2013 California litigation lawyer of the year who enjoys combining law, social media, and live streaming to disrupt, to hack, and improve his clients' companies, causes, and professional relationships. In addition to trying cases, Mitch enjoys speaking around the country and sharing communication, marketing, and social media tips. He's an early user. He was a very early user of social media and live video, and in 2017 was named by Mashable as one of the top 50 people to follow on Snapchat, and by the American Bar Association as one of the top 25 legal accounts to follow on Twitter. I mean, this is immense influence right here. Now, Mitch has spoken at the New York, San Francisco, and Los Angeles live video summits. He's also appeared on live video shows with Katie Couric, Anderson Cooper, Seth Godin, Peter Diamandis, and many more. And as he did last year, Mitch will once again be sharing digital marketing tips from the stage at Tony Robbins' Business Mastery event. Mitch's main website is jacksonandwilson.com, and his social media and live video blog, streaming.lawyer.com. Shannon Farabee, who's once again filling in for Kathy, will include those and some of his other URLs in the comments area. Mitch's most recent project is a new book titled, well, it's a soon-to-be new book titled Social Media for Professionals. It's due out at the end of the year, and anything Mitch does is always done with such class, and it's always done in such a wonderful, fantastic way. Welcome, Mitch.
Bob, thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm humbled. I'm humbled
Wow.
to be on your show. And it's amazing what you can do when you do something long enough for 32 years, that laundry list of things. It's amazing how it just kind of happens. So it's good to be on your show, and hopefully I can share some communication tips with your audience and share a little different perspective on what works and what doesn't.
Oh, I know you will, because I've been seeing you do it for years. So I want to know first, is what I said true? Does the lawyer himself or herself really have that much to do with the outcome of a trial? Or is it really, as we'd like to think it is, in the end, the truth will win out?
I'll tell you what, I think all else being equal, personalities, human to human rapport and engagement in the courtroom, it does make a difference. I mean, that's the reality. Should it? I don't know, but I think that it does, Bob. And in your book, Adversaries and Allies, which is one of my favorite people skill books of all time, you're not paying me to say that, but you know, because we've talked before about this, I will not mentor a young trial lawyer until he or she has read Adversaries and Allies. It's that powerful of a book. But you talk about people skills when it comes to success. You talk about people skills being about 10%, technical skills being about 10%, and people skills being about 90%, to the success equation, right? I think in trial, it's probably more like 60-40, 40% technical, 60% people skills, but it's critically important. And that's been my secret over the last 32 years of trying cases. It's been the people skills.
Well, that 60-40 is still immense when you think about it. When you think about what's on the line.
It's an exciting and exhilarating profession. It's the best decision I ever made, Bob, was deciding to go to law school and practice law. I met my wife in law school, okay? And so it's been a great experience for us. And every single day, there's a new communication challenge. Every single day, there's a new opportunity to improve your communication skills, to improve the way you develop rapport with the jury, or with the judge, or even with opposing counsel. So I just think I'm enjoying every single day of practicing law, and especially with social media and live video like this. All of the things that we do on social, Bob, I take back into the courtroom and I use to pick my jury and try my cases. And it's just been a fun experience. And once again, it's great being on your show.
Okay. And thank you. And it's wonderful having you. And I want to look more at that later about how you do this crossover with social media in the courtroom and influence, and because it's really amazing how you do this. So you talked a couple of minutes ago, you mentioned the word a challenge, and you talked about how every day's a new challenge. So I've got a challenge for you, Mitch. You walk into a courtroom, and your challenge is to influence, to persuade 12 people who, I'm going to say, most of them don't want to be there. They'd rather be at their job. They'd rather be with their family. They may and I don't mean to be offensive here. There are some people who don't like lawyers, and so they may not even be predisposed to liking lawyers. Okay, and your job is to persuade them that they should be voting your way. That's a challenge. How do you handle that? How do you approach this?
It is a challenge. And I think for me, Bob, it goes back to my experiences growing up at the Saddle and Surrey Guest Ranch in Tucson, Arizona. I grew up on a ranch where we would have people visit us from all over the world for a week and play cowboy. And what I noticed is the success that my mom and dad had at the ranch revolved around preparation. It revolved around being human, interacting with the guest, providing them the experience that they want to experience, as opposed to what my mom and dad thought was important. It was all about the guest. It wasn't about my mom and dad or our family. And the same thing applies, fast forward to today, when it comes to a jury trial or a court trial. My persuasion, my interaction begins out in the parking lot. This is going to surprise a lot of people. Professional speakers watching your show will know what I mean when I say understand what your venue's all about, understand who's in the audience. A lot of lawyers don't do this. It starts where I park my vehicle before court in the morning. I park in the public parking lot, not over where there's private parking for the attorneys and judges. Everyone I'm parking next to when I walk into the courthouse, when I'm standing in line with my client, I do not go through the attorney and judge line. I stand in line with my client because I'm surrounded by potential jurors in my case. I don't know if any of these people are going to be my jurors, but there's a pretty good chance one or two of them will be my jurors. And maybe that will be my jury foreman, the person that helps direct the decision-making process when the case is all done. When I'm walking with my client to the courtroom, in the cafeteria at lunch, I'm with my client, I'm considerate to my client, I care about my client, and that's where the communication process starts. When we walk into the courtroom, the same approach applies with treating the court staff with respect, with using first names when I can with court staff members, with doing everything we can to prepare not only the case, but on the day of trial, to prepare the relationship building opportunity with that jury so that when they are called into the jury box, and I know that you've been in the jury box and you've answered questions during voir dire, when they're in the jury box, if they've seen me around the courthouse, if they've seen me with my client around the courthouse, they're already starting to feel as though I'm someone who does genuinely care about my client, genuinely care about the court system, and genuinely care about the outcome of the case. So preparation is the first step, I think, when it comes to effectively communicating. And if you're a professional speaker, if you're speaking in front of an audience or making a sales pitch or venture capital pitch, you've got to know who your audience is. What is their why? What are they looking to accomplish? And how can you help get them there? That's my secret when it comes to starting off a jury trial.
So really what you're doing, you're creating that benevolent context for your success with everything you're doing from the very beginning. Go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, that means if you've been around the courthouses, what most people will see is lawyers looking down, working on their pleadings, talking to their clients. They're ignoring the jury panel. They're ignoring everything else that's going around them. It's all about them and not about the process of why we're here today. You said something very interesting, and I think you're right. Most people don't like lawyers. So if you can be that lawyer that they can look to as someone that's trying to seek justice, someone that wants to take them by the hand and find a just and fair outcome to a case, they're going to start connecting with you. They're going to start looking at you, and they're going to start listening to your side of the case. And as long as you're straightforward, you're transparent, and you're honest with the facts that you present, that's where the magic happens.
So this is all about building trust. It's building trust with everything you say, everything you do, and really just by who you are throughout the entire process. And it's interesting when you're talking about maybe seeing someone in the parking lot, or they're seeing you. And even if you haven't had an interaction with them, if they see that, you know, you're that decent guy, you held the door open for someone, or you, and by the way, and we're not saying, well, you do this as a way of manipulating people to think something you're not. No, you are the type of person who would do that and who does do that, but you're letting them see it and you're not standing aloof. And I have noticed that when I've gone into courtrooms, that many of the lawyers, it's like they're in their own private club, and they